It was a quiet morning, but something didn't feel right. The sun came through the curtains softly, but the air felt heavy. My name is Sarah, and this is the story of how I found strength I never knew I had while facing betrayal and loyalty. I'm 35 years old, a freelance graphic designer, and a mom to a bright 9-year-old daughter, Emma. My husband, David, and I have been married for 12 years. From the outside, we looked like a perfect family, but inside, things weren't so smooth. We lived in a small suburban house where everyone knew everyone's business. And in our case, there was a lot to talk about. David was very close to his mom, Margaret. I respected his love for family, but Margaret's constant interference in our lives was exhausting. She had strong opinions and always believed she was right. Over the years, her meddling tested my patience, but I put up with it for David and Emma. But this time, things were different. One day, David casually announced that he was giving Margaret a spare key to our house. "It'll make it easier for her to visit," he said during breakfast. My stomach sank. "David, we've talked about this," I said, trying to stay calm. "I'm not okay with her having full access to our house. She's already here so much." He sighed in frustration. "Sarah, she's my mom. She's helped us a lot, especially after Emma was born. Can't you just be grateful?" Grateful. That word stuck in my mind. Grateful for her constant criticism. Grateful for how she undermined me as a mother. I didn't want to argue in front of Emma, so I let it go for now. A week later, I came back from grocery shopping to find Margaret in our kitchen, going through the pantry. "Oh, you're back," she said with a fake smile. "You're running low on flour. You really should stock up." I forced a smile. "Thanks," I said, putting the groceries down. Inside, I was furious. She had used the key David gave her and now felt she could come and go as she pleased. Over time, her visits became more frequent. She would drop by unannounced, pointing out everything she thought I was doing wrong. Emma watches too much TV, or, when David was little, I made sure he had a strict bedtime. David dismissed my complaints. "She's just trying to help," he said. "You're overreacting." I started feeling like a stranger in my own home. Margaret's presence was everywhere, and David's refusal to set boundaries made it worse. The breaking point came when I overheard Margaret talking to Emma. "Your mommy doesn't always know what's best," Margaret whispered. "That's why I'm here to guide her. You'll understand when you're older." I froze, holding the laundry basket. How dare she say that to my child? That night, I confronted David. "She's crossing the line," I said, shaking with anger. "She's undermining me in front of Emma. Do something about it." David rolled his eyes. "Sarah, you're being dramatic. She's not doing anything wrong." Dramatic. The word hit me like a slap. I realized then that David would never stand up to his mother. If anything was going to change, I'd have to make it happen myself. I started keeping track of Margaret's behavior. I wrote down her comments and actions and even recorded some of our conversations. It didn't take long to gather proof of how overbearing she was. Then one day, Margaret showed up with a suitcase. "I've decided to stay for a while," she announced with a smile. "David said it's fine." I couldn't believe it. "You can't just move in," I said. "Why not?" she replied. "I'm family." That night, I confronted David. "She's moving in now? When were you going to tell me?" David avoided my eyes. "It's temporary," he mumbled. "She'll help out around the house." I felt betrayed. I couldn't let this continue. The next morning, I handed David a folder filled with my notes and recordings. "What's this?" he asked. "Proof," I said. "Proof of how your mother has been disrespecting me and disrupting our lives. Read it. Listen to the recordings." David looked shocked as he went through the folder. "I didn't realize it was this bad," he admitted. "Now you do," I said. "So what are you going to do about it?" He promised to talk to Margaret, but the conversation didn't go well. Margaret got angry. "How dare you accuse me?" she yelled. I've done nothing but help. After that, things got worse. Margaret spread rumors about me to the neighbors and even showed up at Emma's school, claiming she was there to check on her. I felt like I was losing control. Then, something unexpected happened. Emma stood up for me. "Grandma, you shouldn't talk about Mommy like that," she said. "She's a good mom." Margaret looked surprised. "I was just trying to help," she said. "If you want to help," Emma replied, "maybe you should listen to Mommy instead of telling her what to do." Emma's words gave me the strength to finally stand up to Margaret. The next time she showed up unannounced, I met her at the door. "Margaret," I said firmly, "you're not coming in. This is my home, and you need to respect my boundaries." Margaret tried to argue, but I stood my ground. Finally, she left. That evening, David and I had a long talk. I told him how much his loyalty to Margaret had hurt me. To my surprise, he apologized. "You and Emma come first," he said. "I'll make sure my mom understands that." Over time, things got better. Margaret's visits became less frequent, and David started putting our family first. I felt more at peace in my own home. Looking back, I'm proud of how I stood up for myself and my family. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. This is my home, and I'll always protect it. Months later, things settled into a much healthier rhythm. Margaret still visited occasionally, but her behavior was different. She no longer barged in unannounced or criticized every little thing. I think she finally realized that her actions had nearly torn our family apart. David, too, seemed more thoughtful about our relationship, often stepping in to support me when needed. Emma thrived in this newfound peace. She took up painting and often spent hours creating colorful masterpieces. One day, as she proudly showed me her latest painting, she said, "Mommy, I like it when it's just us and we're happy." Her words warmed my heart and reassured me that I had made the right choices for our family. But life has a way of testing you when you least expect it. One afternoon, the phone rang. It was Margaret. Her voice sounded shaky. "Sarah, I need to talk to you," she said. "Can I come over?" I hesitated but agreed. When she arrived, she seemed different, nervous and hesitant. She sat down and, to my surprise, apologized. "I've been thinking a lot about how I treated you," she said. "I was wrong to interfere so much. I'm sorry for everything." Her words caught me off guard. I had spent years feeling hurt and angry because of her actions, and now she was asking for forgiveness. It wasn't easy, but I chose to forgive her. Holding on to the anger wouldn't help anyone, and I wanted to move forward. From that day on, our relationship slowly improved. Margaret still had her moments, but she tried harder to respect our boundaries. I learned to stand up for myself and communicate clearly, ensuring our family remained my top priority. Looking back, those difficult years taught me the importance of boundaries, communication, and self-respect. I found a strength within myself that I didn't know existed. No matter what challenges come our way, I know that this is my home, my family, and I will always fight to protect it.